says about what, 27 after, but my watch says 8:30. And oh, it's not a Timex anymore.
I got a Timex and mine was 8:30.
So at this time, I'll call the December 12th West Memphis Utility meeting to order. And I paused then because I looked down, that's my sister's birthday today, and I forgot about it. Okay, first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the November 14th, 2019 meeting. You received those in your packets.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the November 14th minutes.
Have a motion by Mr. Holmes, second by Ms. Marshall. Any additions or deletions? All in favor? All opposed? The minutes are approved. Second item is the November safety report.
Good morning, all. And Merry Christmas.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, we are standing at 50 days since our last reportable injury and 50 on the lost time. Brings our total report year to date to 5. Put it right up. I don't know why I left September on there. That's not right. It's copied and pasted. But we are at 7.8 right now and 7.5 as of today. We don't have anything else happening. We'll finish the year up at 7.1. Actually, it's not good. It's not what I wanted, but last year I think we closed out at a 5.9. So one injury with, less than 80 employees in this figure, that's a big difference. Then we got another full CPR class to catch, some new employees and some employees that were absent whenever we had recertifications. So we had 14 that got trained in November. And then our monthly safety meeting, they got passed around through all the departments. It was on rationalizing unsafe choices, and it's just basically saying that we make the choice not to follow all the safety rules every day with everything we do, and a lot of it, there's some factors that we use to rationalize it. Time pressure to get a job done, for lack of supervision around, and then lack of enforcement of the rules, your energy level if you're fatigued, and mood. But a lot of times we put ourselves in unsafe conditions because we make choices to do that. It's not that we don't have rules to follow and procedures in place that will protect us as we as individuals make those choices sometimes. And other than that, that's all I've got.
We have defibrillators.
We do. We've got
I
AEDs.
probably have
Yes.
that.
We do have 11 AEDs, 5 of them are in buildings, and 6 are mobile.
I'll override
Hope somebody got one around.
And we do get training over that, and we get somewhat some specialized training with our particular AED we got. We've got a real, it's, you don't have to really research. I think we'll tell you exactly what to do. It's talking to you, it's keeping a metronome account for you and telling you if you're doing good CPR.
Okay, next item, thank you, is personnel update.
Yep, and it's a short one and a brief one. We haven't had any new hires or resignations in November, so our numbers have maintained so what they're at.
Any questions?
Are we looking for people or are we
Uh,
just sitting on the trash?
some areas, actually, a couple of these, I've had initial discussions with the board. We're gonna need to sit down and start to discuss a little bit, structuring with the EQ department. You know, we need to start looking at succession planning within a lot of our departments where we have personnel that are getting older, that have specialized skills. We need to start looking at coming up with a way where we are looking at who's going to be the next person filling those positions, who's going to be doing that job in the future. So we're going to need to start to look at, and a lot of our positions through, and it's just not utilities, I think this is citywide, is it's one deep. You have one person, they do everything, and you don't have anybody below it. So some of the things we're going to look at for personnel across the board is succession planning. The electrical, we're not actively looking for those positions that are empty. So, you know, with the levels of work that is currently happening throughout the city, we're not actively filling those. I've talked to him and asked that, hey, because we had some several guys and they moved up, looking at bringing in some younger guys to get them back also, so that we have that constant flow moving up. If we do happen to lose some people for some reason.
Does the city have a viable internship?
A viable internship, I'd say no.
That's what
Yeah. And actually Ward is putting together, me and him have had that exact discussion of putting together some job descriptions of potentially internships in the summer. Yeah, we gotta get job descriptions written on it and see what their task will be and how will we use them effectively, not just standing around looking at one another so they're productive to the organization.
Could it not be lifted out of the descriptions that you all crafted about a year ago?
We've thought about that, but the task is, I think, more of what they're going to be doing is, you know, do we have tasks that we would be able to give an intern for a short period of time?
Part of
Yeah,
that,
yeah. I think that's the biggest thing, because we can't give them a project that goes longer than the summer period that they would be here. That would be the biggest. So I know our new engineers would love to have some assistance in that area, helping them out in the fields and stuff. So, but yeah, I agree. I know a lot of companies, that's one of the ways they look for
It's a
talent.
talent.
They bring them in as interns, as sophomores and juniors, and then they're like, hey, that was a good employee, let's figure out, you know, get creative for a home form.
And then Memphis is doing them even through their school. They're doing a lot of internships with their students, bringing them in, and then, you know, the students in high school.
The high school?
Yeah,
Okay,
they're getting really big doing
okay.
that. FedEx has a big project on
For high school students? Okay. Yeah, but I don't, we probably studied their work ethic and looked at that and their ability to be here on time, and are they willing to do, you know, but I don't know if they were specifically doing tasks that would show their capabilities completely. But sometimes being attentive to work and on time is just that's right there is a major.
Okay, any further comments, questions? Next item is the recognition of the Arkansas Department of Health Memorial.
This is something that I received it out of the blue, and I thought it'd be something, you know, we bring a lot of times to these meetings, we bring a lot of items that are always complaints or concerns or issues, and I said, well, you know what, I've been here for 19 and a half years and I've never seen us receive this particular certificate award, and I wanted to just bring it to y'all's attention and actually recognize the person who's responsible for doing this on a daily basis. It's again, it's a person of one. Andrew Bass is our water treatment operator, and his sole responsibility is that treatment plant and the wells, associated with that, the chlorination of our water that we use bleach for, and also the fluoridation of it. And we send in monthly samples to the state where they're measuring, you know, the levels of the bacteria and the E. coli in the water and the fluoridation. And this, you know, and I can tell you it is very sensitive because you're actually, the chemical is not, it's actually a concentrated hydrofluoric acid, and then you're adding it on a percentage basis based on how the water is flowing. So the tolerances are pretty close, and I can tell you, I just want to recognize him, and you know, he's doing an excellent job out there. And like I said, this is the first time we had received, since I've been here, and again, that's 19 and a half years, and recognize him for the job he's doing on this. So. I'm down there asking questions. He says, Todd, one thing you don't have to worry about is I'm gonna make sure this water's good because my mama lives in West Memphis. And I'm gonna make sure that this water. So,
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
all right.
Something I've always told people. We have good water.
I was talking about it last night. Or yes, not last night, just yesterday.
And I failed to start. I need to recognize Steve Jones. Most of y'all, I imagine, know him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Been around here a long time. Is there any other visitors we have? That's what I thought. I thought I recognized that. Lined up back there in the back. Okay, next time, Todd, I'm just gonna let you.
Yeah. All right. We had a good moment. Now let's go over the. We received this. We did have our joint meeting, and again, I know from the issues we've been having for years and years and years past, that I knew at some point we potentially would receive this. So we did receive this we received it on November 19th from the state. You can see it's a proposed consent administrative order. You can see if you go through some of the things, I don't think that anything in here is majorly out of line of what they're asking us to do. They're just asking us that we need to come in compliance with our sanitary sewer overflows and our bypasses that occur at the sewer treatment plant. This in particular, I was informed, was actually started drafting back in, I think, 17 or 18 is when the original draft started to occur, but because of the turnover and the changes they've had in their departments, it just took a while for it to get administered. The item that just, you know, everybody wants to look at is we did receive a potential proposed penalty of $8,000 as a civil penalty. We, as a group, were already scheduled to go to ADQ on December 5th to give an update of the corrective action plan that y'all kind of saw some updates on at that last meeting of where we're at, what we found, and what we're starting to see as our corrective actions, the next steps. At that meeting, we presented them with a written letter signed by the mayor of we're asking for variances, and one of the items was a variance on the civil penalty. During that meeting, we sent it to them a day before they reviewed it, and they said you need to give a little bit more reasoning of why you're reducing or wanting to reduce the civil penalty, and they said, I can pretty much tell you you're not going to get it to zero. So what we're asking is we have rewritten the letter. I'm going to be sending it to Mike Stevenson this morning for his review and ask the mayor to sign it once he is okay with what he has reviewed. And then we are going to ask for some variances. A couple of the variances we're asking for is a reduction of the civil penalty to $2,000. Again, I know $8,000 is not a lot of dollars, but any dollars spent that is not going directly towards fixing the problem, I think it's my due diligence to ask for that variance. Okay. Some of the other variances are we're going to have to re-update our corrective action plan to some of the major infrastructure build-out we're going to have to do. We're going to ask for a variance where it goes out to December 31st, 2023, which is it becomes a 3-year plan. And then also submittal of that corrective action plan and updated will be January 31st of 2020. I'm trying to get my years right, make sure I say the right years. So that's some of the variances we're asking for. Again, we had a good meeting with ADQ. Everything went through, and he just wanted to relay. He said one of the reasons that this civil penalty was as low as it was is because of the aggressive nature we took with working on our corrective action plan and getting things going the way we did. We haven't, as you know, delayed and just kind of dilly-dalled around and we actually have become very aggressive on our plan and implementing our plan. So it's a good thing, I think. What this does is once they submit to us a corrective action, a proposed administrative order that is acceptable, we will have to get that approved by resolution through the city council, okay? And then the mayor will be signing off on that, and so then the city is held, because as you see, if we're not in compliance by the date we set, there are penalties that can start to occur. So it is time to fix it.
One question, have you, since it's been ongoing, have you looked to see what, the estimated cost? Everything that you have to correct?
Well, not everything. I mean, the biggest things that at that last meeting, if you know, at that last joint meeting, y'all saw the big number. I mean, y'all saw the major capital expenditures. Some of those dollars I'm gonna float, as I said, through our reserves, but with what we're seeing right now as potential cost is, you know, what we might have to do either a $10 or $15 million bond issue. Now, is that our total dollars spent? No, because I'm spending, you know, $2 million or 1.8 on fixing the sinkholes. We're spent probably another $1 million in engineering fees trying to do the hydraulic model. Also, the manhole rehab that AJ's been over, where if you go down Rich Road the past couple days, it's been a you know, that has been some of the stuff we've been working on. That project with a manhole rehab project was $600,000. Is that right, AJ?
Yep, it's about 600,000, and there'll be some more add-on. But just
some simple things where we
Yeah.
found some major issues while they were doing the smoke testing and the dye water testing of the manholes of the east side of town. Again, so we are spending right now, we budget $2 to $2.5 million spending, just that I'm pulling out of, you know, my daily O&M dollars fixing these problems. I can tell you, Paul is continually replacing pumps at pump stations when he's like, okay, this pump's 40 years old. We got to stop rebuilding and put a new one in. And we're just pulling that from the dollars that are already coming in. My biggest, when the dollar that was presented was, okay, this is getting to a point where I'm not going to be able to float through our just daily rates of what we're receiving. We'll have to do a bond issue or reserves.
So it'll be more or less like in phases anyway, right?
Yeah, some of it is, except when we have to do the wastewater treatment plant upgrade, that's not phases. The collection system upgrades that I'm doing, that's the part I'm able to sit there and be doing within phases. Like, again, we've done the model and then all the analysis of the flow testing analysis and some of the SSES, which is sanitary sewer evaluation and studies. We've been doing that this year. Next year, I'm already got budgeted. So if you saw the $1.3 million in the capital for lines, I hope to be, and we don't have the report yet. We won't probably be receiving the report from RJN of the stuff they were doing on the east side. Once we get that report, we will be putting together a bid package to be fixing all those issues on the east side. The other one that I'm looking at maybe bringing up is the joint force main that goes up and down Avalon, which I think could potentially help. It'll help the whole city, but it'll take stations 3, which is on Shopping Way, 4, which is on Lehigh, and the library station, the one right there at the library, and then also the one on Avalon, and take them off of 8. So how does that help the east side? Because that's all on the west side. Well, if I take loadings off of Station 8, which basically Station 8 is at Jefferson and 7th, but it handles all the wastewater from Rich Road all the way to the east side of town. So if I take those loadings off of that station, then those stations then will be able to move more water to 8 and not allow the east side also.
So now with the street department, I'm just saying, would they have to pay a part in some of this later on? The reason I'm asking is, because something that's going on now, I guess they're waiting on the utility to finish before they can do, like, this.
Right, I know what you're saying, but paying of that, no. I mean, we will be, just like the project we have going on right now where we're fixing all these sinkholes. Embedded in that project is the repair of the street where we're paying that.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah, we're repairing. Now, anything where it's like, okay, we're gonna come back later and improve the whole street. I'm just gonna fix that area where I had issues. Once it's done, if they wanna redo an overlay of the whole street,
Okay.
that's on them.
Yeah. Okay, good. We'll go, what you gonna do?
All right. Any other questions? I was speaking really fast and I felt like I was at least. And, oh, thank God. Again, it was a good meeting, I think, with ADQ. We do have a few concerns. They're asking us to rerun the studies. If y'all remember, we ran this analysis based on a 2-year, 24-hour storm, which is a rain event of, what was it, about 3.5 inches more? Remember that right? They asked, well, what about a 10-year storm? So we are rerunning the model. Since the model is built and we have it, I've asked RJN to say, okay, give me a 5-year storm and give me a 10-year storm and see what it does to us. And then we're going to need to sit down and evaluate that, how it affects our collection system. So, and then we're going to sit back down and get advisement from I'm gonna call them the experts, the folks that have done this at several other cities within our state, so on next steps.
I'll just say something, just to let y'all know that with regard to that consent administrative order, those penalties could have been up to $10,000 per violation. So for it to be down to 2, or even to start off at 8, was probably pretty good, considering what it could have been. So Todd's done a great job to get it to where it is.
There's
So,
somebody
I have a
there.
question for you, Todd. Is there a way to tell? You see people put trash in the storm drain, be it landscape trash, leaves, or oil, or whatever. How much of that is a factor? Is there any way of determining?
I don't, not for, it hurts the storm, the water sitting on the street more, but because our systems are supposed to be divided systems, they're not supposed to be one and the same, they don't think that should play a major role in. Does it? Yes, because it actually then allows the water to sit on the street, which can then potentially seep into our, but again, I'm not going, I think one of the major tasks that we're going to have as a city and as an organization of what we got to figure out is people's services throughout our whole city. I mean, just like my gravity lines that are under the ground, their services going to their facilities are just as old. And I know the smoke testing that AJ's been out at a couple of with them, some people where it literally, their clean out cap is just broke off and there's no top on it. And we actually gave the guys that were doing the smoke testing, if the cap is missing, we actually gave them a cap so where they could just screw it on and fix it. And that doesn't keep the owner from coming back and unscrewing it and then putting it to the side, because sometimes our owners use those cleanouts as a way to drain their yards, because their yards maybe not drain as well, that sit. And those things take on, you're talking about a 4-inch hole that's just, you know, if it's in a puddle, it's draining everything around it. So that's some of the things that we're gonna have to, plus the customer services, if there's a lot of infiltration on the service, how do we address that? Because I can go out here and fix a lot of my issues, but if, once it gets onto the customer, how do we address that? I mean, I know some other cities, what they've done, and I've got ideas, but I need to make sure those are the best ideas for us. Others actually help. Like, yeah, some other organizations, they front the money and then bill it back through the bill over a period of time, just a little bit each month. But you can only do that if it's the homeowner that actually is there paying the utility bill. Any rental, that's not an option. So I think that's going to be some of our biggest task of how to address that. Would you, I mean, you got any other thoughts, Ward, on that?
No, we're still looking for the answer that suits us best. It'll be a combination of these things.
It may reach the point where it'll be cheaper to drain the river and repair all the sewers.
That's why he's looking at expanding the sewage treatment plant. At some point, it's cheaper just to, all right, we're gonna take some of this and let's have the capacity. So that's the equation we're trying to balance.
Yeah.
It's better off to just let it continue.
Right, when some of that should never stop. Our ground moves, you know,
Yeah.
we can fix it, have it tight, and in 2 years it's moved.
And then here you are back again with penalties and
And
violations.
that money was not effective, but if we expand the sewage treatment plant that we're looking at,
And even ADQ, while we were there, our inspector, Brent Walker, is actually from Jonesboro, and he does the eastern area. And he'll say, you know, those folks along that river have a special situation. I mean, when the river is up, I mean, and it's not up out of the banks, but believe it or not, the level of the river right now is above a lot of my sewer lines.
Yeah.
So my sewer lines are seeing that hydraulic head from the water around it pushing in. And AJ can attest to that, especially down there like West Walnut, where they're down there trying to fix those, do the first point repair, and they've had to drive 12,
Yeah, 6 on each side.
6
Dewatering points.
dewatering points on each side of that trench to keep the water from inside the hole. And as they're moving the trench box, they're moving the wells as they go to keep the water from coming down from, just because again, that's a sand area right through there and the water's just flowing through it. Like, for some reason you get to a certain spot and our gumbo goes away and it becomes just sand.
That's been a problem down in that area for 30 years. I remember at least 30. When I lived on Vanderbilt, there's a pump station off out in the field, and then there's one on Walnut. When they put the one in that's out there in that field, they had those dewatering wells, and then the one at Walnut down there pumping all the time, so they could build the time. So
Quick question, like if you expand the facility now, which way would you go with it?
And to get some immediate, when you say expand, what the proposal is to expand it, that'll give us the relief we need to be able to move the water, but we gotta make sure, and this is, Paul has made us very aware, is you can't expand that plant to just an infinite size, because then when you're in low water coming in, it makes it very difficult to still get your biological treatment if you are not, if it's, so the initial thought is to expand the sewer treatment plant, continue our efforts with repairing the collection system and getting it tighter and tighter, so that then we gain capacity capability down at the sewer treatment plant for new industrial customers. So, yes, we're gonna build it and get the capacity we need to get the relief we need for our customers in our city, but we do not want to stop our efforts. This needs to be a continual process fixing this system and repairing it of our collection system.
So would you need, what, I'm quite sure you need the extra land, that's what.
No, I don't think there's any,
Okay, the reason I was saying is because, you know, if you did, but that just take the land that we have out there, that's vacant.
I
You
see
know,
what
because
you're
we're
saying, the
talking about
physical
doing
land.
something with it, but I'm just saying if you are gonna have to expand, then we need to, just think of something else, versus, because that's more important than us trying to put anything, I'm talking about the facility that I'm talking about, that's vacant out there, the land.
Well, they looked at that initially, and there's room, and I don't know which direction, is that south? Even though we're next to the river, I think it's south, towards the saddle farm.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah, we had that room
y'all
looking at that.
The reason I'm saying is because I know they was talking about doing something out there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if you need to do that, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
because that's more important, than
Right.
coming up with something out there, to do. I mean, it is.
Okay, I did
What y'all
not,
talking about?
that's the area we're looking at expanding.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about that. AMP been talking about that.
Oh, okay.
We've been talking about it, but I'm just saying it's good that you're saying that, so therefore we know we have to do something different because what you're talking about doing. I mean, think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't want to be penalized. I'm just saying.
I agree.
The utility department can use it because it actually belongs to the city. So
Correct.
that's saving money both ways.
I agree. And that was our thought, just that land's just sitting there right now.
Yeah.
And looking at expanding that to
Yeah.
the south, so we have, because that is the
Okay.
area we're gonna have to move into.
Anything else? Mr. Ross?
I move the meeting be adjourned.
Have a motion from Mr. Ross to adjourn, have a second from Mrs. Brown. All in favor? We stand adjourned. Thank y'all.
You guys.